Hey everyone. Okay, so tonight I decided to do a live on a case. So I'm gonna give y'all a couple minutes to scramble in here, and then we're gonna get started. I might turn the lights off, to be honest. I feel like I channel better that way. Okay, so I'm gonna get started here. This was a case that was submitted over to me, and we know the member has passed away. We already know that. We're just really trying to figure out where they are, where exactly that they are, because the person who is responsible is already behind bars. But we just want to know where she is, and you're going to see a reading live to figure that out. So, all right. So I'm going to get started. All right. So first things first on Ruth's on Ruth's case. Hey Lisa. So first things first on Ruth's case, and I'm literally just reading this verbatim online. So Ruth was married to her second husband, Gary, and at the time of her disappearance, Gary and a German immigrant was the president of Millifab, I believe that's what that says, a wood processing company in I can't pronounce that, but Stoughton, I think that's how you say it, Wisconsin. And Ruth worked for Millifab also, and this was how they met. So Ruth and her husband, Gary, got married, and things kind of, things got a little bit rocky after a little while. They got married in 1976, and Ruth was last seen on November 4th, 1983. So also, the marriage was rocky after a little while after they got married in 1976, from what I'm reading. Gary and Ruth's daughter-in-law, Sharon, were having an affair. Sharon Nordis. And Nordis wanted to marry Gary, but he told her he could not get a divorce and began speculating as to how he might murder Ruth so he could be free to marry again. And this is all in a website right now, because this is details of the disappearance, right? So Ruth was last seen on November 4th, 1983, and the night of her disappearance, Ruth found out about Gary's affair from friends, and she told them that she planned to confront him about it and, talk to him about it. Hey, Bubsy. So she told them that she planned to confront him about it, and she was last seen when she and Gary left their friend's home to return to their own residence. And the next day, around 5 p.m., so November 4th, Gary calls the police to report his wife missing, and he did this without checking with any of the family to ask or asking if they've seen her or where she's gone, or if anybody has seen Ruth at all. So there's that. And then the following Monday, Gary told their cleaning lady not to come in because Ruth was out of town and he didn't know when she might return. And the cleaning lady came the following week instead and noticed that only Ruth's jewelry was missing. Gary claimed that she took a watch, a diamond ring, and a diamond bracelet with her when she left. And also, Ruth left behind all of her medication, her clothing, cosmetics, and personal grooming items, which is obviously unlikely and sounds incredibly shady. So going right along, Nordis later stated that at 6:30 a.m. on November 5th, Gary called her and asked her to meet him at the Dane County Regional Airport, that Gary parked Ruth's car in the long-term parking lot and got in Nordis's car and asked her to drive him home by a circuitous, I can't even read because I can hardly see what it says, but by a routine route, basically. And Gary, he had been embezzling thousands of dollars from the wood company that they were working at, Millifob, I think that's what it says. And then he told Nordis that Ruth had threatened to tell the owner, and he told Nordis to keep Ruth's disappearance a secret and stated he would dispose of her body where no one would find it. And this is just details of the whole entire, the whole entire thing. So a relative later found Ruth's car at the airport. Nordis got a divorce in 1984, but she didn't marry Gary. She later married another man, and Gary moved to California. And then in 1986, Gary's embezzlement was discovered, and he was sentenced to 17 years in prison for stealing $645,000 from Millifob. By this time, a grand jury was investigating Ruth's disappearance. Authorities believe she had been murdered, and Gary was the prime suspect. So Nordis was called to testify and stated she knew nothing about the disappearance. And in 1988, however, Nordis went to investigators and admitted her testimony had been a lie. And then she told them about her encounter with Gary the day after Ruth's disappearance and agreed to testify against him in exchange for immunity from prosecution. Interesting. So then Gary was convicted of first-degree murder in Ruth's case in 1989. The judge offered to reduce his sentence if he revealed the location of Ruth's body. But Gary said he couldn't do so because he was innocent, and investigators think he may have destroyed her body in Millfob's industrial furnace, which could generate heat up to 2,500 degrees. Gary is still incarcerated and has never revealed his wife's whereabouts. Foul play suspected in Ruth's case due to the circumstances involved. Okay, so those are the contents about the whole case in general. So, and this happened in 1983. So that's really unfortunate. So, I think I'm gonna turn the lights off, and I'm gonna get incredibly quiet right now. Man, I can hear the wind outside too. Unless that's the wind on the speaker, I don't know. Might be an airplane. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, so we're gonna do a reading on this. We already know a lot of these details about this case, so we're gonna see what we find out. Ooh, I like it. I like the darkness. Oof, love it. Okay. Okay. I kind of, when I was doing this reading or when I was meditating, I kind of zoned out. Like it was almost like I went somewhere else. Like I was focusing on Ruth, and then I don't know. I really kept visualizing being in traffic, a ton of cars. All right, that's really what I kept visualizing. So, I mean, obviously that, but I don't know. I just kept visualizing being around a ton of cars and being in traffic. Zeke is actually, Zeke went to the other room because I kind of told him to go away while I was meditating. And Zeke's not here right now. I think he went to the other room. Like I keep feeling like an abandoned warehouse, or, but I do keep feeling like really tall buildings. I feel like I just gave like it's in the description. But it feels like somewhere abandoned. It doesn't even feel like this place exists anymore. It is 6:43 p.m. here, Eastern time. So I'm gonna start snooping here. I am gonna start snooping. Okay. Hey, Tina. All right. I feel like I ruined my reading by reading this. Maybe not. Okay. Okay. I'm pulling out cards now. I don't know. I had saw a ton of cars when I was meditating earlier before I jumped on here. Like I saw, I don't know. It was like I was in traffic, and it was so. I mean, it was so interesting because when I was when I was meditating, it was almost like I left. Like it was like I left my body for a little bit, and it was weird. But I was kind of it felt like I was falling asleep, but I was kind of meditating. So but I keep having this visual of like traffic, cars, freeway, you know, like one of those really giant freeways, and there's like a ton of cars on it, and it's way high up. I don't know if anything like that exists over there in Wisconsin, but that was something that I was feeling. Okay, this is a really bad drawing. You probably can't see it, but I don't know if you can see it, but it's like a really tall freeway, and it's almost like there's like a group of homeless people underneath it, or it's like a campsite, or it's just like somewhere where nobody will even look, you know? Because you know how it is in certain areas where there's homeless people, and like there's homeless people and people don't like to go there, and it's like people are begging for food and stuff like that. Like that's the vibe that I feel, you know? I think one of these days I might be getting, I might get good at drawing stuff. So I can draw it straight from here and just put it right on my paper, you know? That would be so cool, wouldn't it? You know what would be so cool if you could like get a flash drive like from up here, and then you just, all of a sudden, it's like, what is it? You like project it on a piece of paper, and then, and then people see what you're visualizing and they're like, oh, okay. Like, it would make more sense, right, to do something like that. It would be scary, but at the same time, how are you going to get it out of your head and onto the paper? But yeah, so I always wanted to fly. Hey, I always wanted to fly too. So, this doesn't really look like much of a drawing, but it's like this really tall, like uh, freeway bridge. And then it's like I just keep seeing like underneath it, like underneath it, there's bushes and there's like little tents and stuff like that. Like, and then, there's like a fence possibly on the other side. Um, um, like it says in the description that, maybe he burned her body at the at that organization. But it's like I don't know, like I don't know, it just doesn't feel to me how he would have that opportunity. Like that's the part to me that doesn't feel as if it makes sense, like, how would he have that opportunity? I thought I felt something brush my feet, so interesting. So for me, like this feels like, this is somewhere where people drive by every day. People, it's almost like people see her almost every single day. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's almost as if they see her every single day, without even realizing it. You know, I so I just keep feeling this whole boxed up scenario, like she's in a really tight space. All right. Really, really tight space. Um, I will tell you this, he's definitely going to take this one to his grave. He is definitely not going to share where she's at. I mean, he's just going to he's just going to have to live with that for, however long he's going to live with it. Um, she's in a really tight space. It's almost like he boxed her up. Okay. Like he boxed her up. You know, like that's what I really, you know, it's like she's, you know, she's all balled up. I don't know if you can see that, but it's almost like she's all balled up, you know, and in a tight space. So, you know, I kind of piggybacking off of what's on the internet, right? Piggybacking off of that, not trying to piggyback off of that, but I did see that bridge. I did see that bridge with, you know, like a fence and some bushes and stuff and stuff and stuff. It's kind of like, what's it called? It's kind of like gift wrapping. You know, it seems pretty sick, but it's like, you know, it's like somebody made a present, you know, and put her in it. And I'm just, oh, hey, Zeke. See, Bubsy, Zeke showed up because you wanted him to. Did you want to join us? See, I told you he would show up. It's because he was in the other room, and usually when I do this stuff, he just shows up, to be honest. Like I'll sit there and be like, you know, come on, communicate with me. So I gotta say this too. I don't know if any of you have seen Stranger Things, but you know, like when 11 is in the water, and that's like how she's able to, you know, travel and use her powers and stuff like that. Like she's able to do that. That's kind of like me in a nutshell. It's almost like I'm sitting here and what is it? I'm quiet and I'm in the zone, but at the same time, it's like it's kind of like that for me. That's a very interesting question. And to tell you the truth, no, I don't. I don't feel as if they've done this before, and I don't feel as if they knew what they were doing. Like they were kind of just winging it. It was almost like they were just, you know, going as, you know, as the thoughts kind of came along or how the ideas kind of came to them. It was almost like, you know, it was almost like winging it, you know, and um, me personally, I really feel, I do feel as if the right person is behind bars. I do feel that. Um, but also, I feel as if Ruth is somehow gift wrapped. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like a really messed up thing to say, but I just kind of see her like boxed up, like, like gift wrapped, boxed up, something along those lines. And it sounds kind of weird saying it that way, but um I'm telling you, some of these little, some of these things just, some of the things that people do, it doesn't make sense to me. And it's kind of like people just don't feel as if they have a way out, and they do have a way out, but it's like people connect. When people connect and they come up with these ideas, they're not connecting with source energy when they're doing these kinds of acts. You know what I'm saying? So when people make those decisions to hurt someone and kill somebody and take someone's life away, they're the inside is not, it's not coming from source. I can tell you that right now. It's coming from somewhere else. Okay. It's not coming from source energy, because source energy would never ever tell you to hurt somebody. Source energy would never ever tell you to harm someone, or do anything like that. So I can tell you this much. For me personally, I truly believe that some people, when they make these rash decisions, for me, it feels like people are possessed, I can tell you that right now. Like it feels like people can get possessed and like take action like that. And it's really uncanny. I know you see like a lot of these movies all the time about, what's that one movie? Oh my goodness. There's a movie out there on oh yeah, Constantine. There's that movie, and there's another one that has me thinking about, possession and stuff like that, like, people being possessed. And then there's this other movie too. It's called Stigmata. I don't know if I've ever talked about it, but that movie's from, it's a really old movie. It's like 22 years old, but it's still really interesting to watch, because when you're watching it, um, it's like this woman received this rosary in the mail from her mother. And after she gets this rosary, and there's something very special about the rosary belonged to a priest that was in Italy, and the priest passed away with the rosary on. And somehow this hairdresser from the United States gets her hands on it, because her mom mails her the rosary. And she's like not even really wearing the rosary, and all of these weird things are happening to this hairdresser. And it's a really interesting movie. And I feel like sometimes we forget what source energy is. We forget that as human beings, and I'm not saying that, church is a horrible thing to do, or you shouldn't go to church every Sunday. That's not what I'm saying. But in that movie, basically, it suggests that churches kind of keep secrets from people about God and stuff like that. But in that movie, what that priest wanted everyone to know was that God lives inside of everybody. So everybody has access to source energy. A lot of times people, you'll sit there and you'll pray, and you'll pray and you'll pray about something, right? And what is it? There's this joke too, where this one guy is stranded somewhere, and um, somebody, then all of a sudden, he's sitting there praying, asking God for a miracle. And, all of a sudden there's a life jacket. And then, he's praying again. And, all of a sudden there's a boat that, is going past shore, and then a plane. And then all of a sudden the guy dies on the island. So when the guy dies and he goes to heaven and he's like, God, how come you didn't save me? And he goes, I sent you a life vest, a boat, and a plane, you dummy. Like, I sent you all of those things and you didn't even take any action. He just thought God was just going to swoop down there and pick him up. And a lot of times people are like, oh, that's just how it works. And no, it's not how that works, So yes, dark energy can exist. It can exist in people. And for me personally, I feel like everybody has that, everyone has God, God's image in them, within them. It's not, everyone's like, oh, you got to go to church every Sunday. You got to do this to have God in you. And that's not true. That's really not true. But when people make these ugly choices to take human lives, to kill, living things, or to kill anything, you're not accessing that from source energy. You're definitely not accessing source energy, and between everybody here, every single one of you can believe what you want to believe, but me personally, that's like being possessed. That's literally like being possessed by some type of entity. I would not be surprised. What is it? What's that show that's out there right now on Netflix? Monster. The new series that's on Netflix right now. I can't remember the actor's name that's playing Jeffrey Dahmer. I know his last name is Evans, isn't it? I think it's Chris Evans or something like that. But he really struggled playing that character, because Jeffrey Dahmer was he was really pure evil. He, instead of, and a lot of people kind of go through this. They make choices. They choose to perceive things in different ways. And as they perceive stuff, some people blame it on, the chemicals, like, the chemicals weren't right in him, or this and that. For me, it's like they were possessed by something. They were possessed by something because, and his mom didn't treat him right. And, but that actor that played Jeffrey Dahmer, he kind of, he played him so well. But I saw an interview with him talking about playing that character, and he claims that he really struggled playing that character from time to time and through some of the scenes, because it's kind of like you're pretending to be a monster. You're pretending to be somebody that is taking lives and hurting people and, doing all these ugly things. And it's like, how can you switch it like that? Like, how can you just switch it while you're acting like that? And, if he's sitting there saying that he struggled to play that part, I mean, obviously he doesn't think that way. He doesn't think that way as a human being. But, so, if you can't imagine somebody kind of struggling to play a part like that, can you imagine being the person behind the shoes, actually filming and trying to be that person that did all those ugly things? It's difficult. It's difficult. It's difficult. It really is. So, yeah. I know I got carried away in conversation, but I don't know if I mentioned though, but Stigmata, I do recommend watching that at some point. It is on Amazon Prime, and it's I watched that, I watched that like a few weeks back, and it made me think. And I had already watched it when it came out, and I think I was just a kid, and I didn't really understand it all that much. I kind of thought that she was like possessed by like, an evil spirit or something like that. But no, she was possessed by a priest that was trying to pass on a message to everybody. He was really trying to pass on a message, and he wanted everybody to know about this. Like, he wanted everybody to know that God is basically, everybody is connected to source energy. Everyone is connected in some way, shape, or form to source energy. Those times where you're sitting there and you're saying some of these affirmations, or you're praying even. Praying is definitely a source of affirmation. And you get these insights, or you get these jolts of ideas, or you get these, sudden urges to do things. That is source energy telling you to act in some way. Okay. That's kind of like an inspiration. Okay. And then when you get these ideas, or you get these urges, it's coming towards you because you've asked for it. You believed in it. You're saying these affirmations for it. So, you know, um, so yeah. So I've come to the decision here, in this reading. Some of, I swear, some of these public cases, Chris Watts was possessed by Nicole Kissinger. Is that like, I think I saw a movie like that. Rip Shannon, Bella, Cece, and Nico. I think I know what you're talking about, Bubsy. I think I know what you're talking about. I think they did a movie on that. I could be wrong. I might be confusing that with something else, or with another something else that I saw. I don't know. I've really been seeing a lot of Amazon Prime lately, so I'm like, So anyway, about possession. Okay, so I know this doesn't sound, at least a bit of making sense right now, but this is pretty much what I've come up with for this reading. This is basically like a bridge, a highway, freeway, and there's like brush here, and then it seems like there's a fence and stuff. And then I'm going to put some homeless people here because I kind of feel like there might be like an area, or like a campsite or something like that underneath the bridge. So there's that. But I also have the feeling of her being boxed up. It's like the feeling, and then my nose keeps itching too. So y'all, I can't take this sometimes when I do these readings. It's like so like on the edge of your seat, I swear. The Family Next Door. I might have to check that out if it's on Netflix. I'm I'm kind of in a spooky mood, I swear. But, you know, I also like to play video games sometimes. There is actually this show that I'm super excited that's coming out in 2023. It's called The Last of Us, and it's based off of a video game that came out in, I believe it came out in 2016. But the show is called, it's based off of a video game, The Last of Us. And I am really excited about that coming out in 2023. I am really stoked about it. So I have to check that out on Netflix, The Family Next Door. I'll have to check that out. I think I might have seen it actually. I might need a refresher, but I'll definitely check it out and let you know my thoughts. So anyways, kind of wrapping up this reading. Tomorrow night we are gonna do all signs tomorrow night, so don't worry about that. And yeah, don't worry about that, because we'll definitely do an all signs tomorrow evening so that you guys can get some more messages and stuff. So I am going to wrap it up there with this reading. Actually, you know, I might make it a thing where I do a missing persons case every Wednesday. I might do it something like that, where I'll do like a missing persons case every Wednesday or something like that. Totally thinking about it, totally open to it. So yeah. So anyway, also I do, if some of you are interested in, my other channel, definitely feel free to check that out. It's called Infinite Union. I've been posting on there as well, and posting some podcast stuff on there. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Tomorrow night, we are going to be doing an all signs messages on there. So prepare for that tomorrow evening. So I'm going to leave it there. Everyone have a wonderful rest of your evening. I will see you guys tomorrow night. And we're going to circle back to all signs messages. So I love you guys. I'm hoping that these messages kind of helped in some way, shape, or form. I know I got a little bit off track, but yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there. So I'll see you guys tomorrow evening. Everyone, take care. Have a wonderful April Fool's Day. I think I saw that too on, what is it? Peacock. I think I saw that on there. I might watch it. I might check it out. I might get bored or something. But you know how Aura is. Aura is always looking for an adventure, right? But I'll check that out one. I'll check that one out too, Bubsy. So so yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up there. I will see you guys tomorrow night. And we're going to do some all signs, okay? So I hope you guys are prepared for that. All right, guys. Good night. Stay humble. Stay blessed. Love, Aura.